Iowa makes the Sweet 16 as a number 9 seed. I had them
Yeah.
winning at least against Clemson. I did not think they were going to beat Florida. I don't think anybody did. But Florida really was a paper tiger. The fact that they won last year, I think had a lot of people expecting them to do somewhat of the same and have an easy road to the Final Four. But the fact of the matter is, in March Madness, the two things I've noticed is you need veteran guard play and you need size and the ability to rebound. And Florida had the size with Alex Condon and Thomas Hawk, but they were not able to have that consistent guard play. The Lee kid from Harvard, what was that last play? I mean, you're passing the ball with half a second left. Go take a layup. If you get blocked and you lose the game or you miss the shot, but you got to at least put up a shot. And Iowa, the fact that Ben McCollum was able to go from Division II to Drake to the Sweet 16 is a huge, huge tip of your hat to him and the Iowa program. Bennett Sturts didn't have the best game. He kind of was shot chucking
He
quite a bit, but
looked like prime shot chucking Kobe.
he was taking some crazy shots. So I think if he can calm his nerves, I think it'll be a up in the air 50-50 matchup between Nebraska, honestly.
Yeah, well, to add to that, I think a couple things. One, McCollum's won four D2 national championships with Northwest Missouri State, which is right by where we went to school. Um, and Bennett Stewart's last night looked like you and IM's, except instead of him missing them, you made them. So that was kind of like but yeah, I mean, you got to give all credit to Ben McCollum. He won four D2 national championships. Then he went to Drake and took them to the round of 32 last year. Now he's moving on to a Power Five school or a Power Five conference school in Iowa and taking them to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1999. Furthermore, there's never been in March Madness history where Iowa and Iowa State have both been in the same Sweet 16. And so I think, listen, I'm not an Iowa fan, nor really am I an Iowa State fan. Shout out Arizona. But Fred Hoiberg's a legend in the state of Iowa. And Iowa and Nebraska split their series respectively in the regular season. Both teams won at their respective homes, I believe. And so now we get this game at a neutral site in the Sweet 16 on Thursday at the Toyota Center, home of the Houston Rockets. Um, Furthermore, to add on to your point, I had Florida coming out of this division, and last night, uh, Florida's head coach looked like a fucking pussy, crying and fucking screaming at Ben McCollum. You're one of the best teams in the nation, and you just got bitched by Flaggeris. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's just it's such a bad look for the Gators. Like Tim Tebow would be so depressed about the way that that head coach acted, and rightfully so. Ben McCollum chirped back, but he's basically like the Kurt Signetti of basketball, starting low, coming all the way, and obviously Iowa's not going to have a perfect season, but they have a chance to. They are still able to win a national championship.
Yeah, the thing that a lot of people underestimate is once you get that first win under your belt, we've seen teams go on runs like UConn with Kemba is the penultimate example of
And UConn with Shabazz Napier.
exactly just the confidence level is so key in basketball because you see that first shot go in, you can just take it all the way. We saw it last year with Walter Clayton in Florida. He was looking like Curry out there, and obviously we haven't seen that, pan out in the NBA, but Iowa, Nebraska, that's a Midwest championship right there. That's the Midwest Super Bowl. There's going to be corn, there's going to be beer. Houston's going to kick out a bunch of drunk Iowa fans at bars this week because they're just going to get shitty all week, which I respect
Yeah.
it. And Iowa, Nebraska, I mean, I saw this thing on Twitter, a tweet that said there needs to be a ceremonial punt before the tip off because
Yeah.
these teams are just
Yeah.
consistently having these low scoring games, and I'm hoping Nebraska can get, a little bit better in football because it's been rough going for those Cornhusker fans, and there's just loyal fan bases because Iowa has to deal with the shitty weather in Kinnick Stadium, and they get upsets every now and then, but has to be an unreal moment for the
Yeah.
fan base. Shout out to the Midwest, just consistently being there every week and dealing with all this, nonsense.
Yeah, and to add on to that, not only did Iowa beat the reigning champions and the number one seed, they basically did it at Florida's home. Gainesville is 2 hours away from Tampa. Also, another thing to add, in the Sweet 16. Houston versus Illinois, the other Sweet 16 game. That's literally a home game for Houston. They're playing in Houston. And so if Iowa were to beat Nebraska in the Sweet 16 and then make it to the Elite Eight against Houston and knock off another home team getting a home game, imagine what that would do for their confidence going into the final fucking four. I mean, Iowa has the chance to do something we've never seen. The lowest seed to ever wins a 7 seed. Iowa's a 9 seed. And if they do some damage against Fred, I mean, I hope Nebraska wins because Fred Hoiberg's such a legend of the state and did so much for the Cyclones. Kind of as a neutral fan here, but Iowa has a chance to do something special if they were to beat Nebraska and then be another home team in a home game to go to the Final Four. The storylines are written.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the top half of the bracket, I think, my heart and my mind are aligned. I just don't see anybody coming out but Duke. But I am feeling a lot more confident in that Houston pick. I think this is it. You're at home basically, like you said,
They
in
are at
Houston.
home.
You're at home. Illinois, they haven't really played anybody. I mean, VCU, they just blew them out. And then
They also got bounced by Wisconsin in the what semi or the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tourney. They lost to Wisconsin twice, and Wisconsin lost to High Point.
And
So
we've seen teams that just kind of roll through the first. I mean, Penn they beat by 35, and then VCU.
they beat by 20.
So Houston's not going to let up, and Kelvin Sampson's one of my favorite coaches. And you're at
Yeah.
home. The defense is going to swarm them. I think Illinois is going to get like trampled, and then I'm really pulling for Iowa. I mean, at the end of the day, shout out to Ben McCollum, and either one I'll be happy to win. Hoiberg
Yeah.
or McCollum, I'll be happy for either one of them.
Yeah. You like it would be crazy if Iowa plays another like they go from playing a Big Ten team in the Sweet 16 to then playing another team in the Elite Eight in Illinois. Like that would be, but like you said, Emmanuel Sharp and Flemings, there's some dogs. Like I think Houston might put belt to ass against Illinois. Like I don't know if it's going to be close. Like they have Peja Stojakovic's son, right? Illinois does
Oh yeah.
who's looks exactly like him, but Peja's a legend. Shout out the Kings when they were good. Um, but yeah, I think the South has the opportunity to have some unreal storylines if Iowa were to do something crazy. Imagine an Iowa versus Iowa State national championship in Indianapolis. Bro, the whole Midwest would be, I mean, it would be Hilton East.
It would
That
be
game would
insane.
be asinine if Iowa played Iowa State for the national championship.
One of the things that I don't know, I've noticed a lot last year because I was just absolutely grinding all of the games.
Yeah.
It sucks that we don't have, a Florida Gulf Coast or a St. Peter's or a team like that. But at the end of the day, these games are going to be unreal for the next 2 weekends because just look at all of the matchups. We could potentially have Duke and Houston, which honestly is what everybody wants to see. You want to see the best against the best. You don't want to see, it's cool having the Cinderella story, but they never, you don't see a Florida Gulf Coast in the title game. You don't see a St. Peter's in the title game. You don't see, Davidson in the title game or something like that. And it just creates these like you want Goliath, you want Goliath on Goliath, basically. Like the fact that there's still like a little bit of a Cinderella moment that could potentially happen with Iowa. Nebraska has never even won a tournament game before this season, and they're in their Sweet 16. Their fans are going crazy. It's just a great moment for all these programs. And at the end of the day, you have St. John's, the redemption story of Patino. If they're able to upset Duke, that'd be insane because I think the title getting vacated at Louisville was just absolutely
So
ridiculous.
bullshit. So
People,
what?
it was for them getting paid under the table, right? Or something like that.
Well, that and he was incentivizing his players to play better by getting them strippers. Who cares? Every male over the age of 18 has gone to the strip club. I mean, are we being for real? So
I mean,
what? They
Rick
want
Pitino's
to.
a dog. I mean, he's an absolute legend, and I'm so glad they were able to knock off Kansas because Darren Peterson, he solidified in pen, in stamp that he's not my number one pick. And if he goes ahead of Boozer or Debansa, I mean, if he goes to the Sacramento Kings, he's gonna, it's kind of a poetic justice for him because he's gonna go away like Ben McLemore did when he was drafted by the Kings. It's just if you're a guard and you go to Sacramento, that's the black hole of the NBA, and you're just going to get sucked into it. And we see, with De'Aaron Fox, he's having success in San Antonio. You see these guards, they're having success outside of Sacramento. Tyrese Halliburton. You go to Sacramento, you want to get the fuck
Keegan
out of there
Murray.
immediately. Keegan Murray got $70 million and hasn't done shit. He averages like 10 points a game.
Yeah.
So